guys, welcome back to my channel. If you want to learn how to make a villager ran bread machine which produces bread, stay tuned and I'll show you how. You can either have this at ground level or over here we used a Schematica program to put this in our world, and I did extend it to put my horses underneath. I will put the link to the schematic in the description box below. For the regular tutorial, just stay tuned. So today's tutorial is going to come in two parts. One, we're going to need to build the farm, and two, we need to build the contraption that holds the villagers. So we're going to start off with the farm. For today's example, I'm going to show you ground level. So the best thing to do is blocks get hydrated, I believe it's 4 one way, actually 4 in each direction if I'm not mistaken. I know the 5th block never gets hydrated. And I did turn mob spawning off, which the command for that is this here, /game rule space do mob spawning space false. And it's like a toggle command. You just hit enter again and it pops back up. So the slimes that are here are going to stay here, but no other ones will come. So for demonstration purposes, we're going to build a small farm here. And I'm going to place my water to keep my plants hydrated. We're going to use our diamond hoe or whatever kind of tool you have. Whatever kind of type of hoe you have, I guess. Types of hoes. Let's get this all tilled up here. Now, if you don't have trample off on your game, and I suggest doing this anyway because it just keeps mobs away from your villagers, especially zombies. Zombies are attracted to villagers, so if you are putting this in a world that has active mobs, you need to make sure that you block the villagers in. I would do it with a fence. This is basically an outdoor setup. And I'll show you a little bit more because see how this, if you got mobs or animals coming in and you don't have trample off, your farm's not going to be very productive. So I usually only put one level around, but just to keep this annoying slime out of the way here, I'll just go ahead and make it too tall. Alright. So once you got that planted, if you want lights, the best thing that I suggest doing, and what I also have on my personal farm, which I did make a lot of changes to my backyard. So my decorated house tour video will have an update this week. And I added redstone lamps. And then if you put the daylight sensor on it and click it, it turns to night so that the lamp only comes on when it's dark. Now if you don't have access to daylight sensors, you could always just use a button or glowstone or a lever, anything like that. Alright, now I always like to cover my water just because it makes it easier. You don't fall into it, crops don't fall into it, and you can just run right over it. So let's go ahead and grab, we need seeds. And with being a bread farm, the only thing you would want to plant would be wheat. So let's get this all planted up. What you could also do is spawn your villager and then give him stacks of seeds and he will plant for you as well. So you don't have to do this. But by the time we get done with everything else, hopefully the wheat has grown and you'll be able to see the villager in action. Alright. So what we need to do now is we need to pick an area that we want this villager to go into. So let's pick right here. And you can use any blocks that you want for the building. So I'm going to use stone bricks. And we're going to make a doorway here. So the door is going to need to go here in the front. Now I'm not going to build the rest of this because it'll be easier for me to show you without everything above us. Your hopper is going to want to go right here. And you need a second hopper right there. Now you're also going to need a way to come in and collect that, but we'll get to that point. So let's chorus out an area to work around, and we can fill all this back in later. So we've got one hopper leading into a chest here. When the villager comes in, he's going to throw bread to the other villager to feed him. The other villager is stuck in here and he can't go anywhere. So that forces the farmer villager to throw the bread at him. Well, if he stands here and throws it, it'll collect in here. But sometimes I notice if they stand super close to the edge and throw it, then it gets trapped down here where there's usually not a hopper. So adding this hopper was something that I changed this morning. So we've got this hopper leading to here. And then we've got this hopper here where the villager's going to stand. So let's fill this in. And we can go ahead and make this 3 blocks tall up from the ground. Cover that up. Let's just build all the way up around. And we will destroy a few blocks to fix this, but you basically just want a little shelter. Now your villager's going to go down here, but he will jump out unless you put a block right here. So I usually put blocks here, and then I'll put my glowstone here. That way I've got some light in the place as well. So he won't be able to jump out of there. So he'll essentially be trapped. So this is what you want your inside to look like. Very simple. One hopper here, one hopper a block down, and a block to stop your villager from getting out. Obviously a door here. Optional, you can add windows. I like to add windows because I can see what's going on. You can either put the block or you can put that. I personally think that looks better. It feels a little bit more open. And that's basically the whole design for the upstairs. Now we're going to come back to the back side. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this out because we can fix all this later. I like having a lot of room around me when I work. And we're just going to rip that out so we can see the back of the machine. So now what we want to do is, and I'm in a super flat world, so this is going to be a little bit difficult. It's going to be hard for me to get into this little corner here. I'm going to place another hopper that points towards this block here. See how it's pointed towards this block? Now we've got both hoppers. So the villager that's standing here, if bread makes it past the first hopper, it won't make it past the second hopper. If it goes in the first hopper, it'll come through this chest, go through this hopper, and end up in the original destination chest anyway. I like to make that a double chest. Also a side note, this does not work unless the chunk is active. So basically you gotta stay standing in the area or have it around stuff that just normally stays active, or it's not gonna work. So let's go ahead and cover this up. And we can go ahead and add this here just to make it look a little better. You can still open the chest and get into it. And we're gonna add some stairs if I can find them. There we go. Let's get rid of all this other crap. And we'll put the stair there, stair here, and we'll put our grass block back where it should be. So basically you're just going to give yourself a little bit of area to come down here and open this. You don't even really have to do all that. You could just leave a hole and look down through there. But let's give our machine a test. Me and fences aren't getting along today. Oh, see, I don't have trample off, so every time I land on the ground it'll do that. Animals will do that, mobs will do that as well. So let's throw this in here, and we'll throw this in here, and if they end up in the same chest, then we know we did it right. Alright, so it's all set up. Now what you're going to need is you're going to need a villager spawn egg, and you're going to need a sword. And I'm gonna beef my sword up a little bit because you will go through a lot of villagers to find a farmer. So give me 1 second. You're gonna need a tough sword because it's gonna take you longer if you gotta hit the villager 6 or 7 times. Okay, so I just put your basic sharpness 5 and I'm breaking 3 on there. So when spawning a villager, the villager that goes in here, it does not matter. It could be any type of villager. So just click once, there you go. He can't jump out of there. If the other villager throws him bread, let's just throw an iron sword, for example. See how it gets sucked into either one. Let's grab a stack of these so we can throw it in every different direction. And you can see that no matter where it gets thrown to, it's gonna somehow get into one of these hoppers. So now the fun part, you gotta spawn villagers until you get a farmer. Ooh, we lucked out today, guys. 2 of them. So optionally, you can also level up your farmer on Batman MC server, our new server, which we have information for that on the channel as well. You can there's a certain potion, actually Lee's the one that made it, where you can make your villagers virtually indestructible. But if you got them blocked in and you trust people you're playing with, then you know you don't really have to worry about much. But you can trade with him. Like I said, he also, if you have extra seeds, he'll take those. If he ever doesn't pick seeds up, it's because his inventory is full. So let's make sure this works. Sometimes it's a little tricky. Let's get some bone meal here and let's get some stuff to harvest. You know what? We're gonna save some time. I'm just gonna throw him a shitload of wheat. That should be plenty to get him started. He picked it up, so let's see what happens. It takes a little while to get things going. There it goes in there. And that's another reason I said you can leave windows, because you can actually look in and see what's going on. So let's get this other crap out of here. Oh, there we go, guys. Check that out. And look how fast it's running too. It stacks up pretty well. He essentially just, you know, maintains the crops up here. As soon as he harvests them, he gets the wheat, he turns it into bread, he gives it to the other villager to feed him, and the other villager doesn't get it because the hoppers suck it up. So essentially he just keeps feeding and feeding and feeding him because the other villager, he won't die, but his hunger bar will go all the way down. So it forces the other villager to constantly maintain, you know, feeding him, which maintains bread. So out of 3 full stacks of bread, I don't know if there's anything left in his inventory. I can't really tell. But we got 20 pieces of bread so far, so it's working. And you can always spruce this place up, decorate however you like, you know. I do know that once you start getting into the bigger size farms, maybe 2, 3 times this big, it seems like they stop working. So I would definitely stick to small farms when it comes to this design. You cannot have more than 1 farmer in the crop area or they will trade with each other and you won't get any bread. I learned that one too. So I would stick to farms about this size. If you need to, you can make multiples if you can. You know, it's a great system to use. I think it's absolutely fabulous, and because I run the bake shop on our server, which we have a video for that if you're interested, it's really cool. Because, oh look, the lights just popped on. Because of running the bake shop, I made a couple of these, and to me personally it feels like I have little employees that work for me for the bake shop. So I think it's really cool. It adds a element of animation, it adds a element of, you know, intuitivity that's a big word, but you know, I think it's really cool. So definitely try it, check it out, and if you do, let me know how it worked for you and what you're using it for. So thanks for watching, guys. Keep an eye out for that new updated decorated house tour. If you subscribe and notify, click that bell button, you'll always get notified when I upload a video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.